Here's my Airbnb experience from literally trying to find a place, negotiating, buying, listing the property on Airbnb, finding a property management company, how the property went on Airbnb, to selling the property, all within an 8-month window. We began to look at homes close to us here in Phoenix, Arizona, and also Nashville, Tennessee. The reason we chose Nashville is because it is kind of in our headspace to try to find places that we would perhaps want to go and travel. So having a home there means that we would save on money when we inevitably go on vacation there. However, after some extensive research...
Yeah, so turns out Nashville has a lot of zoning laws around the area, and there's really only a few blocks of homes that are available that you can short-term rent.
We also went and actually, using my realtor here, went and saw a house in Scottsdale when we figured out that Nashville wasn't going to work. So we pivoted quickly, looked at what was available here, and we just went and actually saw that home.
It was on the pricier side, but it was really well done.
Yeah, what was the price at? $380? $380?
Is it 380?
Something like that.
360.
360. I think it was 360. 359.
Okay, so
I think.
360.
Nice neighborhood.
Completely redone. Nice neighborhood. Obviously in the Scottsdale area, that's where most people go when they come and visit.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought it'd be a perfect opportunity for short-term rental. Also, we could have Sam stay in there when there isn't anyone renting, and he could pay rent.
Yeah, but then we got home and we texted our Sunrise crew about the home to look into it. It just for me seemed a bit pricey, and when we started looking at Airbnbs then in the area, looking at the mortgage and knowing that houses around there were seemingly between 100 and 150,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, something doesn't really add up there with the price for how expensive the home is, for the amount that we would get. So we reached out to our pals at Sunrise Homes, and they informed us of a site called AirDNA, which we hadn't heard of.
No, and it's a lifesaver.
Talking with the Sunrise people, now that we have the, that AirDNA tool, we're just going to start going across the country, plugging in addresses and seeing
where we end up.
We have narrowed down our search of places that we're looking. There's a place in New York, what's it called?
Catskills.
Gulf Shores, Alabama. And then with the recommendation of the Sunrise crew, Big Bear, California.
Specifically Big Bear Lake.
Okay, there's a specific. I thought it was the same thing. We obviously already have the connection to Sunrise in Big Bear. I don't really want to travel to go and look at these places, mostly because it'd be, same day travels and stuff like that. I'd have to find a lender, realtor, and all that stuff. So we are pretty set on going with Big Bear. Lex found a property that she likes a lot.
I do also want to mention, based on where you're looking to really dive into the short-term rental regulations and laws in the area, so specifically to Big Bear Lake, the number of guests you can have is based on square footage. Also, in Big Bear Lake, you have to have someone greet your guests when they come, which is why we're going to look into property managers. So they just have different rules, so that's definitely something you should look into before getting started anywhere.
I'd like to, kind of point out as we're talking through it, we mentioned Sunrise a lot. I obviously go, talk about the lender who's through a connection. Obviously, there are certain tools that we have closer to us that perhaps some of you watching it maybe don't have. But as far as like having the local realtor goes, anyone can reach out to a realtor that's on Zillow when you say you're interested in the property or whatever. They have to give you a buyer's realtor. If they don't offer one, just request one. Majority of places that have this, obviously the seller will be on there, the seller's realtor, but they will provide you with the buyer's one. And right now, getting a loan is literally as easy as, Big Bear, California lenders, or wherever it is that you're buying. You don't necessarily need the connections that we're going through. And once again, even Sunrise, they've been monumentally helpful. I think that's the right word. But the same breath, all these things could really be found out just by going on and do it yourself. So we had started, in California.
Yeah, we were lucky to save time with the connections that we had.
We sent back the offer with her, and it basically said they want us to kind of bid against one another, which I'm not a fan of. So I'm not gonna.
That's what happens anyway.
Yeah, but I'd like to at least have an idea of where the person is.
Yeah.
I mean, we came in at 350.
Right.
If the person came in at 360,
They wouldn't have.
there's no way that they would
They
come
would have
back to
told
us.
us saying they bid 360. What do you want?
Yeah, like,
Or
hey,
what
like,
can
they
we do?
like, yeah, they're willing to go up to this, or they're not allowed to say, like, exactly what it is, but they'd be like, well, it's above yours. I doubt that they think that, you know, we would be. So I'm sure that they came in at 355, 350, 355. It's close enough where, hey, let's just let them bid it out. So I'm going to look to go the escalator route, which is basically where we can put in an offer of like 350 again, or like 352.5, and then say, we'll do an escalator of 2,500 more than what their top offer is, up to 365. So if that person comes in at 355, we'd be at 357.5. That's what I just said. I was like, if they're gonna put us back and forth against one another, I'm not giving them another 72 hours. Like, if this person doesn't respond tonight, then our offer can be off the table. You know, you got to be that way, because otherwise, I mean, there is an ample amount of
Otherwise, they're
properties
just gonna
there.
keep playing.
Yeah, because otherwise it keeps going back and forth, and then it gives them a chance to say, well, they have an escalate. Like, yeah, we got the house. First Airbnb, it's been a long day. First Air Bed and Breakfast. I'm not gonna say purchased, I still gotta sign it, but verbal agreement. We have verbally purchased our first Air Bed and Breakfast property. We are now opening up the next steps, which is, for me, the most fun part of closing on a house, which is basically getting all the inspections and stuff set up, getting the initial escrow and funds sent over, getting the loan fully set up, and yeah, basically the business side of it, which is my forte. Then Lex will step in and do hers, which is
Decorating and redoing the whole entire house to make it ready for the Airbnb. I'm going to be managing all the bookings and all of that, and coordinating with the cleaning service and all the fun stuff like that. Tomorrow morning, I will be in charge of calling people to get our home inspection done, which we need done within the week. So we need someone who can come in ASAP and do
very
that.
quick turnaround.
We need to find someone for home insurance. So we have a list of recommended people we have to call.
I am working on all of the escrow paperwork, so I'm working with the escrow company to get them everything that they need. Some companies I know allow for you to DocuSign some of the escrow docs. This company does not seem to have that capability, so we are going to be receiving a package, ideally, overnighted, because I know that this is a super quick close. I think 30 days we're looking at.
So we didn't think about this, but we're in Nashville.
Oh yeah, that was real time. We didn't solve that before. I am working with the lender to get everything situated in terms of tax documents and all of that stuff. Luckily for me, I am an accountant, so I always have all of my tax paperwork readily on hand, but something that you should absolutely already have situated prior to starting to make offers and stuff like that, because especially in a market like this where everyone's pushing for uber quick closes and you're competing against people with cash, if you're going the loan route, which we obviously are, you want to make sure that you can at least really pitch for a very quick close, or the quickest close that you can get. So having all of that paperwork set up is going to allow for you to have a quicker turnaround time. Also, having the inspections and maybe people that can get in and inspect the home and all of that stuff quicker is obviously helpful. We basically made an offer. So this house was listed for $350,000. I think 349.5, or was it 350 on the head?
It was 350 on the head.
350 on the head.
And it's just a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. I'm
Yeah.
looking up the square footage now. Continue.
Yeah, so a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home. Lex will get the square footage. So not a big house by any means, but obviously in California, you certainly pay for
And that's typical for a lot of the bigger homes. 950
950 square feet.
950.
We made an offer of 350. Somebody else made an identical offer of 350. So we were competing with only one other person. We both offered full ask, and the sellers came back to us and said,
Best and final.
yeah, you guys
That's
have,
important.
yeah, we
Best
have 2
and
offers.
final.
That is absolutely important for this story. So they asked for both of our best and finals. I came back with an offer of $352,500, and then put in an escalator clause of $2,500 up until to go up to $365. For those of you that aren't familiar, you can basically put in an escalator clause, which is what you're willing to pay up to, but say you don't want to make your best offer.
You don't wanna make, yeah.
Like you don't want to counter at
In
365.
case other people counted at 355 and we could have got it for 356 or
357.
355. Yeah.
357, 500. Math is hard. So basically what that is you set an increment so that if somebody else, if you're competing with other people, you agree to pay $2,500 or $1,000 or $5,000 more than what they're willing to pay, more than what their top offer was, up to what your max is.
So we set it for
365,000.
But
And then we found out the next day
the other people did the exact same offer.
Literally.
With the same
the
elevator.
same escalator.
Escalator.
Made the exact same
Same thing.
offer that we did. 352.5 with an escalator up to 365. The seller's agent basically came back to us and said,
Could've been
all
the
right
agent's
guys,
idea, too.
could have been the agent's idea, so I'm not sure it's sellers or the agent, but they said, hey, you guys made the exact same offer, so let us know again,
What's
what you're willing to do.
Best and final.
Yeah, and Lex immediately texted me back and said 400.
No, I said 370.
Lex was like, we should go back. And me,
Well, I let the hubby handle this one.
Yeah,
Before I get started.
yeah, not only just the negotiation, and not even that 370 would have been bad. Like we actually, ran the numbers and we would have been comfortable.
It's the grounds.
Yeah, paying up to 370, around 375 for this house. Obviously, that cuts into our margin some, but we wanted to land this one, and we would have been comfortable around there. But it's about principle at that point. If somebody asks you for best and final, you don't then give them your best. I thought that was
Like,
a very
our final was the one we just sent.
yeah. If somebody asks you for best and final, and they come back to you and say, well, can you do more?
Well, what is your actual best and final? Like, that was it.
Yeah, for me that's child's play. And even if I was willing to go higher, once you ask for best and final, you just don't come back. So we spoke with our realtor. I made that abundantly clear that
And she agreed.
yeah, that we weren't going to be playing this. I thought it was kind of child's play, and that we made our best and final. We were going to stick to it. And luckily for us, the other buyers also
the same thing.
had the same type of self-respect and said, no, you asked for best and final, we gave it to you. And the only reason that we actually got the house is because in our counter,
The inspection
we
was 12 days and theirs was 17
And theirs was
days,
17,
So it was only
so-
5 days shorter, but that's what got it.
yeah,
for
so
us.
the 5-day quicker inspection is actually what made our offer a stronger offer to the sellers, and that's how we got the house.
You know who made it.
Just checked out the house and it's fucking amazing. It needs work. Uncle Bob is
Going to Bob's,
going to Bob's.
Bob the Builder, baby!
Bluish gray.
Lex is here.
Yeah.
Here's the current state of Big Bear. All right. You can't see anything past the cardboard. It just draws you in.
Home Depot right now to pick up the bathtub and bathtub surround and a new vanity, and then also the hardware for the vanity and the bathtub.
That thing's huge. Wow.
We left the house at 7:45. The things we've accomplished thus far is picking up our orders from Home Depot. We had to rent a Home Depot truck because obviously the tub wouldn't fit in our Equi. So we drove that up to the house, drove all the way back down the mountain, returned the truck. We just had Chili's to fuel up again, but that's all we have accomplished.
Guess where we're at now?
And yeah, now we're going to Target, but yeah, that's all we accomplished, and it's 2:50 p.m.
This is as far as we got the tub. A nice gentleman across the street did help us get it to this point, but we got to get it the rest of the way. I have to, now we can turn it a little bit probably. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's not good.
What?
Well, something's crackling. Oh, it's just these. Trip 3 to Big Bear.
It's on your first trip. How do you feel?
Yeah, my first trip to Big Bear. Big success so far. That's all he says. Big success. Saturday night, Stella made it.
I really like it. It's a nice place. The Lazy Bear Den. Still some work to be done, but Sam and Lex have done an outstanding job.
Still
thus
some
far.
work to be done.
There's a lot of assembly.
Yeah, still a lot to be done. But I think you guys have done a tremendous job thus far. Now it's time for Big Daddy
just
Sut to
have
put the
a lot
finishing
of
touches
assembly.
on.
All right, you heard it here. He's doing the final touches.
Management guy coming on Sunday. To
Yep.
tell
Oh, they
us
answer
anything
calls?
Else.
Which is
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So tomorrow to tell us anything else we need before the city inspects it for us to put it up as a Airbnb.
All right.
We had this huge couch that would not. We tried selling it, but it can't get past this post or the post. We can't get down the
Yeah.
stairs without taking that down, and we didn't want to do that because it's like really nailed into the wall and shit. So I had Sam. His job was to take a hammer and just absolutely annihilate this couch. He has a blister. Yeah, show the blister. Ow. But he did it, and so now we're gonna walk it outside, and this is what we gotta clean up then.
Lex is gonna clean this up.
Yeah.
We have just closed on the property a couple weeks back. Kind of wanted to do a quick little summary video on why I decided to sell at this time. So regardless when you're watching this video, we are Q2 of 2022. Some of the different factors that kind of pushed me to want to move and sell the Airbnb. are when we were going through or coming out of winter. So Big Bear, California, obviously very popular in the wintertime, seeing as it's one of the closest and only places that Southern California residents can go to ski and snowboard. So we had an amazing winter season. But once it got into really after December and January, I noticed a very steep drop off, which there's always going to be a drop off after those truly busy months. But however, I have clients in the Airbnb space that have businesses that have Airbnb properties in that space. And I noticed just that capacity rates and even nightly rates were really down year over year. To me, it made sense. I mean, we're coming out of the pandemic. Obviously, a lot more people going out and about in their day-to-day lives. Big Bear being kind of this destination city off the map in the woods type of situation. Really hot during the pandemic. And I just saw that kind of starting to shift a little bit as life kind of trended back to normal. So seeing those over February and March, seeing those rates just drop sporadically, seeing how much capacity was truly out there, kind of made me a little bit uneasy in terms of just my expectations of what the property was going to be bringing in compared to what it was actually bringing in. On top of that, obviously, depending on when you're watching this video, if you're watching it, ASAP or in the future, early 2022, we started to see some unsteadiness, or I started to see some unsteadiness early in the year in the market as a whole, in the economy as a whole. And obviously, we've seen an unbelievable surplus in housing prices over the past 4, 5, 6 years, specifically the last really 3 to 4 years. Just this crazy jump, and it was no different from the time that I bought the property. Sam, what was that, like August, September? Around August, September of 2021. So obviously a fairly quick turnaround, owning the property for 6, 7, 8 months. When we had listed it I think we listed it late March, early April. But the value of the house had still, been on literally a crazy vertical trajectory. And when I started seeing the unsteadiness in the market a little bit, just truly knowing where it could go, specifically speaking to the house that we had owned, I believe it sold in 2018 or 2019 for, I want to say like $200,000. We had bought it for $365. So I mean, an insane jump there, and we had sold it for well north of $365. So I'm under the philosophy that no one's ever gone broke making a profit, and also have really always run under the financial assumption that if something is in a straight vertical up, it can come down just as hard. So those two combining factors of me just starting to feel unsteady with the economy as a whole, and with that specific Airbnb market due to the pandemic surplus kind of shifting, I just thought, hey, it's an amazing time to sell, get out with some profit. We obviously made money on the property month to month as it was going regardless. So really, obviously, I guess a short-term rental that turned into a short-term investment. But as I mentioned, no one's ever gone broke making a profit. Obviously, I hope the people that bought it from me end up, making a killing on it. And I hope the house winds up being $1 million home for them. But for me, just the way that I evaluated everything and given my risk tolerance wherever it would fall on that spectrum, just decided that it was the perfect time for me mentally to sell it, move back into cash, and find some more lucrative options of what to do with that. That's a summary of why I sold the Airbnb. All in all, it was definitely an amazing experience. Obviously, owe a ton to Sam, my brother, and then Lex, my wife, who did a ton of work on the house. I actually kind of got off scot-free. I think I only was there, Sam, twice? I think I was only at the house twice. They did a ton of great work on the house. So obviously we made some additions to it as well. So it wasn't like it just, we left it or sold it how we found it. And we found a baby cat there. Sam, do you have any videos of that in the video?
No.
Oh, well, I would pick her up, but she's going to claw the shit out of me. Oop, got her. Here she is. Her name's Bear. Oh, and she's going to kill me. Hey, pretty girl. And then there's Stella, who's now her big sister. Stella's a big sister now. Yeah. So, I would say the most important factor of Big Bear, obviously, was a nice, nice from a financial perspective, but always nice to have a new member of the family. Sam, do you think I should tell a quick story? We were the last day of moving all the stuff out of the house, and Sam had noticed and came inside and said, I think there's a baby cat underneath the neighbor's grill, and the neighbor is another Airbnb, and nobody had been there all week, so we assumed, obviously, it was not supposed to be there, and Sam and Lex went out and caught the cat. We took it to the vet and, well, brought it in the house, and kind of the rest is history. Now it's here with us in Arizona. Sam can add some clips in of her traveling home with us. We named her Bear, seeing as found her in Big Bear. And yeah, so it was kind of a nice little cherry on top of what was definitely a fun experience. Won't be my last Airbnb, but I think definitely going to do some evaluation with where the market's currently at right now, with interest rates going up and houses softening a little bit, but still super high in terms of pricing where it stands. So yeah, excited to see what the next chapter brings, but I'm very, very happy with how this chapter transpired and how it closed up. So appreciate you watching. Hope this brought some value, and look forward to talking with you again soon.